Tony, what are we talking about today?
Oh, is this it already?
Yes.
Well, first I have to say it's episode 42 of the Elbow Nudge podcast. Now you tell me, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Fistful of Dollars.
I hear your teeth apart from each other. You gotta clench those teeth.
Like this.
Yeah, you gotta say a fistful of
I
dollars.
gotta say a fistful of dollars.
Don't worry, we're not gonna keep this up the whole time.
Are we? I have a feeling my teeth are gonna hurt after this episode.
You better put on those nighttime anti-grinders.
Hey, that's not air anybody's dirty laundry.
Is that too
on
personal?
This podcast. I tell you things in private, not
Did
to
I
make
take it
it
a step too far now?
to the podcast.
Should I apologize before we have to go to standoff?
You just might.
All right, so we're talking about a fistful of dollars.
We're going Clint Eastwood. Fistful of Dollars, 1967 in the
This
U.S.
was a recommendation from your brother,
My twin.
my trip boy and friend, your blood. And you know what? We didn't mention this the last time, but these are barely recommendations. We're like really just extracting this from Josh, from Davey. We're forcing them to name movies at this point.
We're putting them on the spot.
Yeah.
Saying, give us a movie to watch.
Yeah.
And then they just blurt out.
That inbox is empty.
It is. You could have it not be people listening if you email us at elbownudgepod@gmail.com.
Thank you. If you do. Also, another thing I forgot when I was texting Davey about this, I didn't ask him for any context. I don't know if this is his favorite Western. Hopefully not. Your mom will be disappointed. I don't know if he likes Clint Eastwood. I really don't know why he recommended this. Do you know?
While you were saying that, it hit me that I too am not in the know as to why this was recommended. Another movie we have with no motivation behind it.
Yeah, there's no context, no motivation, no purpose to watch this except to fulfill a promise.
A promise to.
So, Davey, here it is.
My only sibling, my closest.
Your favorite
person that I know.
Your favorite brother, I was gonna say.
Yes,
but
yes, that's true.
Even better. That's a better ranking.
Yeah.
Your favorite person that you know, that outranks
my I said my
your
closest.
Parents. No, you said your favorite person that I know.
You said favorite. I said closest. But not. You know what? I'm not going to argue about that because it's true. Davey is one of my favorite people.
Oh, okay. One of. Okay.
Yes, Davey is. That's undisputable.
He's a great man.
He is.
Yeah.
And
he welcomed me in a cowboy hat when I went to Texas.
He cowboy hat and a good old Texas hug.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
remember. I was sitting in the car.
You saw that?
Wishing he was hugging me instead.
What?
No.
You can't share the love.
No, I'm just playing that up. But yeah, I was in the car. I saw all that.
I don't know how you did. I'm pretty sure we were pretty far away.
What? Not that much. I saw everything.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll take it.
Everything.
All right, so, I thought I was out of the Westerns for a while, but, Davey comes in and pulls us back in with Fistful of Dollars.
It's been a while since we've covered a Western.
Yeah.
I think the last one was True Grit.
Yep. Thanos, Kate Bishop, etc. And here, who do we got?
Thanos?
Josh Brolin wasn't in it?
True Grit?
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, but Josh Brolin wasn't in it? Didn't we see one with Josh Brolin in it? One of these Westerns that I gotta watch?
Hang on. I am...
Hang on now.
No?
Are you sure?
True Grit.
Yes.
Am I going crazy?
Maybe I am. Let's find out. I mean, you tell me.
Oh, okay, you're right. Tom Chaney. That's who he was. That's who he was.
Caroline,
I was thinking
I'm
of
the one that zones
okay,
out
my
during these
bad, my
westerns, and
bad.
here you go, like,
I
huh?
forgot
That
he was Tom Chaney. He's honestly unrecognizable for me as Tom Chaney.
without purple makeup on?
Well, no, I'm used to seeing him like as Cable or something. Like I see that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Josh Brolin.
Wow,
I
Cable
for
over Thanos.
I forgot about Tom Chaney. I really did.
I don't remember his name. I just know I saw Josh Brolin.
I forgot. I forgot.
Anyway, I don't know
Also,
how we got here, but
I am quick to write off your Josh Brolin thing because I feel like you see Thanos in everything, or you
I
look for.
do, but I also call it out when I actually do and not just
Okay,
imagine it.
okay, I'll give you that
Yeah.
benefit. My bad.
But yeah, that's true. You're like, oh, hold on a second. Are you sure?
I need to fact check these
Yeah, are you
sometimes,
sure
but
you actually saw him or you
not
wanted to
not,
see him?
not this time. This
Yeah.
time you're right.
He was in Dune, correct?
Yes.
All right.
Have a whole highlight. First one about that.
Yeah, that's what started it all.
That is that still the greatest creation in your mind?
Your greatest creation?
Yes.
No, that one's Sonic. You already know that.
Ah, thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought for a while I was trying to chase greatness by topping the first one, but the Sonic one is pretty good. I
No,
think
now you got to top Sonic.
I think my Sonic 2 one is better than my Sonic 1, but
Well, it's all preference at this point, but that's the one where I was like, man, this just flows. You found a flow with
thank you.
Sonic.
Thank you. I'll take that. That warms my
Yeah.
heart. We are off topic. You got to get
Yeah.
back to the
Oh yeah, we're talking
westerns.
about a movie, right?
We're talking about a movie and a genre as well.
Yeah, westerns. You know, Caroline, you want to tell the listeners what you told me, why we saw this movie together, and what's the whole ordeal?
We're quick on the expose today, huh?
We're
First,
keeping it
the,
90 this
the teeth
episode.
guard, and now this.
We're keeping it 90 every
Uh-huh.
episode.
Yeah, all right. uh, we saw this together because I felt like I was gonna fall asleep during this movie.
Because you did.
Because I did the first time. I was watching it with Davey, and I fell asleep for like 30 to 40 minutes of the movie.
Was Davey elbow nudging you like, wait, watch this part, watch this part?
He was metaphorically elbow nudging me by saying, "Hey, Caroline, sis, you awake?" And I'd be like, yeah, what?"
Oh man, falling asleep during movies is embarrassing for me. I really don't want to.
I've done it before.
Well, you just told us you
Well,
did.
but not like just that was another word flow for me. I just caught myself. Dang it. Not with just Davey. I think it's different when you have like your sibling, but I've done it like in front of friends. And I remember this is the tell all podcast, isn't it? We're keeping it 90 today.
Yeah.
I had a friend come over and he wanted to show me the Godzilla movies. And what's worse is we invited another friend too. So this was like a big thing.
Which
Like we
one?
were,
Costume Godzilla or New Godzilla?
yeah, costume Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
And he brought like the entire collection over. He had like all the DVDs on Blu-ray and stuff, and we were gonna make a night of it, order pizza and everything. I watched the first movie, I was in, but when we got to the second one, I knocked out, and I was sitting at the edge of the couch. I had my arms folded over like the armrest, head in my arms, and I was out like a light. I woke up at the end of the movie, and
The
everybody
end
was.
of the marathon? Oh, just the one movie?
I woke up at the end of the second movie. This is the embarrassing part. Is
It
that like
kept going?
they kept going. They didn't wake me up or anything. They were just like, "Oh wow, she fell
That's very
asleep."
thoughtful, actually.
But here's where I felt bad was we had planned to watch 3, maybe 4 movies that night. But after the second movie, I woke up to the credits rolling and everybody was packing up to go. And I was like, "Wait, I thought we were gonna watch another movie." And they were like, "Nah, we can tell you're tired.
We
We're
saw
gonna go."
them all.
that, that's little did I know that was the 4th movie.
I would love to see a montage style of like you see the first Godzilla movie, the DVD, and then once they start the second one, they stack it, and then you see like the stack growing, and then when you wake up, it's like 8 movies that they went through already.
That I fell asleep through.
Yeah.
If each movie is an hour and a half and it's 8 movies, how long was I asleep? What's that quick math? 1.5 times 8?
Man.
12? The
Twelve.
calculator.
Yeah.
That'd be a long time for me to sleep.
That's a good night's rest. 12 hours. That's
Oh,
exactly
yeah. I'd be like, "Hey, y'all, I'm ready to party now."
yeah. Pop in Godzilla 1.
The Matthew Broderick version. Let's go. We're watching
Oh, that's a good
all
one.
we're watching all the Godzilla movies today.
That's a good one.
Not according to my friend, but I think it's good. I think it's funny.
Oh yeah, I'm
Um,
sure Godzilla purists hate it.
yeah, but I'm a Matthew Broderick fan. I like Matthew Broderick.
Same. I remember really liking that movie. I had a poster of it in my room.
I have it on DVD somewhere in this house.
That's true commitment.
I always like the "That's a lot of fish" line when they're making the trap for Godzilla.
Yeah.
I always thought that was funny, and I remember watching it or talking about it with a friend, and he was like, "Ugh, such a bad joke," and
I hate that line.
there I was cracking up like, "Heh heh heh heh."
Uh, can't please everybody. The
But yeah,
movie I fell asleep to was Pacific Rim. I think I told you.
oh
I've never seen
yeah.
Pacific Rim yet.
And
It
on
was a
that
very cold and stormy night in Connecticut. I was at Angel's house, and then they popped it on. I'm like, "Let's go, let's do this." And then I got all snuggled up because it was freezing in the house.
that was
And
it.
then I didn't make it past 5 minutes. I
That's
fell
all it
asleep.
took.
Yeah,
Once you snuggle up with a cold, when it's cold, you snuggle. You put a movie on to fall asleep. That's how I see it.
I don't typically do that, but that's
It's
the thing. I feel bad falling asleep during a movie, but for that, I was just very tired. I'm pretty sure I had allergies too, and I'm
mm,
just like, all right, I think they'll forgive me because I'm sick, so I'm just gonna go to sleep, and then I went to sleep.
did they forgive you?
Yeah,
That's good.
Angel had to stay up. He wanted to go to sleep though. But
We never had another Godzilla night after mine. They're like,
well, I wonder why.
yeah, yeah. They didn't forgive me.
I think it takes time for
That wound.
that wound to heal. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That
trying
wasn't
to
the
get
first
someone into
time.
Godzilla.
That wasn't the first time I fell asleep with friends during a movie too. I am a chronic sleeper.
Really?
Yeah, I remember watching even like recently. Ashley came over. We were watching Pride and Prejudice, and I was falling asleep.
That's a bad habit to have when you're young, because
Yeah,
you're
it
definitely gonna
is.
be grandma knocking out on the
Oh,
rocking chair.
I look forward to it because I'll have a legit. I don't have to feel bad at that age anymore. It's like this is expected of me.
That's true. I only remember falling asleep to movies twice, and the other one I told you I fell asleep during Uncharted in the movie theater, and that was the first
Yeah,
time falling asleep in the movie theater.
in the movie theater, I have only ever fallen asleep once, and it
What
was
movie?
Star Wars: The Force Awakens. But
What?
it was my fourth time seeing it, or
So were
third.
you doing it
It was my
like you were
third. It
just?
was my
Why
third
were
time.
you watching it?
So I saw it the first time with just my parents, and then I saw it the second time with my cousin. The third time, it was the Sunday after it premiered. I was at church, and all of my church friends were like, it was spontaneous. They were like, "Hey, let's all go see it." And I was like, "Oh, I already saw it," but they were like, "No, we need you along to like," because none of them were like huge Star Wars fans. It was just me. That was like the all in since birth kind of thing. And so they were like, "No, we need you to come along because you can explain things for us." So they paid for my ticket, which was really nice. Like I remember that. But yeah, I do remember sitting next to one of my friends and I fell asleep during the movie. And I woke up and they were not upset, but they were like, "We couldn't ask you any questions because you were knocked out."
Well, during the movie, I was just gonna say, you have to explain during the movie.
Yeah, I was thinking, I thought they wanted me to explain before or after, but no,
Yeah,
they wanted me like a lifeline, like a little call in, like, "Hey, who's that?"
yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what they wanted me for, but they couldn't. They paid for me to take a nap.
The guy at the end is Luke Skywalker. Well, good for you for having the confidence to fall asleep during movies.
Is it confidence or just is it just being bold and brash and this attitude belongs in the trash kind of thing?
No, I think it's confidence. Yeah, I wish I had some of that.
Yeah, I'll take that optimistic outlook.
Yeah,
Anyway, are we talking about a movie today?
yeah, we are. You did not fall asleep during this one. I kept my ears peeled.
I don't snore, but okay, yeah, I guess just for the breathing, that
Oh, you
kind of
think you
thing.
don't snore?
Ah!
Let's keep it 90 again. What did Shay tell you?
To be fair, it was because it was a long night.
Uh,
I haven't snored since, and I've had sleepovers. I
All
fall
right.
asleep during movies, and nobody's told me I fell asleep, or nobody's told me I snore. I corrected
You know you
myself.
fell asleep, right? No
I fell
way.
asleep. No way.
No way. I blinked.
Guys, that movie was so fast. It's already the credits. What?
Is this a short?
I remember the first time I fell asleep during a movie, and it was the Godzilla movie. I tried to play it off like that. I was like, "Oh wow, it's crazy," and he looked at me like, "You were asleep. Don't even try to hide it. We saw you."
That's how I was during Uncharted. I was like in and out of sleep, and I was like, "Oh yeah, awesome!" And then like I have no idea what's going on, and I'm like looking over to my friends like, "That was crazy," and then back to sleep again. It didn't work. I don't think
They
I convinced anyone.
could see through the lies
Yeah.
of the sleeper.
All right, let's talk about Clint Eastwood.
Let's talk about. I wish I had a fistful of dollars, dollar bills. My money don't jiggle jiggle. It
Oh
folds.
no.
I'd like to see you wiggle wiggle for sure.
Oh no.
Makes me want to dribble dribble. Riding in my feet. You want to see it. That was Clint
We're-
Eastwood when he got his $1,000 in cash.
he gave it away.
That was what he told Marisol when he gave her the cash.
He said, "Go on, scram." I mean, go on, scram.
You gotta clench those teeth.
Clench
Go
it
on.
hard.
I need 4 caskets, 3 caskets.
Got to put the cigarette in your mouth.
Mm.
Mm.
I was reading the trivia, and the squinting was not intentional in the movie. It was literally just because the sun
He
was
was always
high.
pointed towards the sun.
He was always pointed towards the sun.
Sergio was not
They did not.
taking that into consideration.
Yeah, no, not at all. And then not only that, but they had lights too. So he had the sun and there was lighting on him so that way his face would be like illuminated under the hat. And so that
So the
squinting is
sun
just
wasn't
him.
enough.
The sun was not enough
They
because
needed extra lights.
the sun was a problem because the sun was casting shadow from the hat down, so his face was dark, and they needed to illuminate the face. So they would point lights towards his face so that way you could see it on the camera. So him squinting is really just him squinting. He's just like, "Mm."
So this had lasting effects because this is just how he looks.
That's the trademark. Yeah, he just squints everywhere now. He's just like,
Yeah.
"Mm."
Uh,
Also, we didn't really give this movie a proper introduction, and I apologize. It's more of like everybody, we're watching A Fistful of Dollars. This is Clint Eastwood's first movie. Came out in 67 in the US, but it actually premiered in 64. It's kind of the trade
where?
in Italy. Thank you.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia, pizzeria.
Dun, 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 dun.
And it's the first, I get, or I think, no, it's not the first, but because spaghetti westerns, I was reading up, they were really much a thing in the 60s, but in Italy. This was the first one to be brought to America. So it's the first spaghetti western to premiere in the US.
Let's talk about these spaghetti westerns. Hopefully you did your research. 'Cause I have
Not
questions.
not as sufficiently as
Here
I
we
think you
go.
did, but we'll lightning round it. I have Google open.
Wait, as you think I did? I did no research. I just wrote
Well,
questions.
I'm saying like in these questions, I'm probably not too prepared to answer,
Oh, okay.
but I have Google open.
Well, maybe they could be opinions too.
Okay.
So these spaghetti westerns, they got
Uh-huh.
the name for not being shot in the West or in Texas specifically by Italian directors or writers, whatever. But is this meant to be pandering to a Western audience, or is this more like a love letter to Westerns and their love of Westerns, and they decided to make their own?
I think it's that because, like I said, in the 60s, there was a huge pool of Western films in Italy. And I think at this time for them, they loved Westerns. And it wasn't until this movie with Clint Eastwood, A Fistful of Dollars, I guess it got some popularity. It got more popularity than the others did. And so they thought, oh, let's import it to the US to see if they like it, kind of thing. But it had always been like a love letter to westerns in Italy, and then it came over. I guess like the base definition of a spaghetti western is just a western with an Italian director. Because sometimes like even with these John Wayne movies, they weren't always shot in Texas. They were shot in I think like the western states, like states for westerns are really New Mexico, Arizona, sometimes Nevada, Texas, and I think Oklahoma. Those are kind of like the westerny states. I'm sure I'm not naming all of them. There's probably more out there, but those are just the ones that immediately come to mind. And a spaghetti western, I think there have been some spaghetti westerns that are filmed in those states, but really what makes it a spaghetti western is having an Italian director.
And I'm okay with that.
I
With
am
everything you
too.
said, Italian director, filming outside of Texas, because I didn't know there was a civil war in the Western fan base
It's
until
more
I
of
spoke to your mom
yeah, it's more of western purist that
versus Western posers.
West yeah, that are
This is a
uh
very Godzilla situation. I'm glad we brought that up earlier because now
yeah,
we
that was a
could
really
have our
neat
parallels.
context. There's no such thing as a coincidence.
So these spaghetti westerns are like the Matthew Broderick Godzillas to the cowboy cinematic universe.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's accurate.
I didn't know what I was gonna say, but I think I landed that.
I think you did.
All right.
And you know what though? This might get my western card taken away.
Uh-oh.
Like
Be careful.
I have seen not to completion, not the whole movie, but I have seen The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, which is the third movie that A Fistful of Dollars is part 1, Good, Bad and Ugly is part 3. And it's good. It's good than some John Wayne films that
Oh,
I've seen.
you want me to edit that part out or keep it out?
You know, Tony, we're keeping it 90 today. I'll take my
Okay.
chances.
Wow. Brave, bold, brash.
I like it. Belongs in the trash.
Your opinion belongs in the trash.
That's what I'm gonna hear from my mother after this.
So would you say are you saying it as like that's one of the better westerns you've seen? The good, the bad,
Yeah.
and the ugly, or like
It
your favorite that you've
no,
seen?
it's not my favorite. I think my favorite is uh
The Searchers?
yeah, well, I'm trying to decide because I
True
don't want to
Grit.
give too much credit to like Magnificent Seven. It is kind of a newer Western.
I think that's okay to say that.
I do really like Magnificent
Say
Seven.
it. Say that one's your favorite.
Yeah, I think Magnificent Seven is my favorite Western.
I've been thinking about this. I don't know why, but if somebody were to ask you what's your favorite movie, we spoke about this, but when you say what's your favorite movie, it's almost like you can't choose a new one. You got to choose a cool one because you don't want somebody to think like, "Oh, that's his favorite movie." Like Dark Knight Rises is your favorite movie. What? You got to choose a classic one. Like, oh,
Citizen Kane.
uh,
Wow,
yeah,
how deep.
yeah,
Whoa.
Jaws. That's my favorite
Da,
movie.
da, da,
You got to choose something cool
dun, dun, dun,
and
dun, dun, dun,
older.
dun,
It
dun.
can't be new.
Yeah.
Like I can't say Top Gun Maverick, even though
It
it's
deserves no,
incredible.
it deserves it.
Yeah,
If I was to ask anybody and they were to say Top Gun Maverick is their favorite movie, I'd be like, props.
right.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I want to propose here. It's okay. Choose your newer movies, people.
I'm so glad. But yeah, I mean, The Searchers is a classic, but it's I think if I was in that first frame mindset of like I have to pick an old one and a classic, The Searchers hits that for me, and it is. It does have a lot of good things about it. It is a family favorite film that goes back generations for my family. But if it was a night that somebody was to come to me and say, "Hey, I want to watch a western tonight," you have these choices. Which western do you want to watch? I would pick Magnificent Seven.
I like that.
It's a good movie.
I'm gonna put on the record that my favorite by default is Back to the Future 3.
We're gonna have to add that to the list
Yeah,
after the way we talked today. With I haven't seen 2 or 3.
right.
I think we need to go
Surprising.
through the. I think we need to go through Back to the Future on Elbow Nudge at
I
some
would love for
point.
that day to come. I don't know if I'm ready though.
Oh yeah, we'll
I
do it when
love
you're
that
ready.
trilogy very much.
We'll do it when you're ready because I understand. This is almost like maybe not on as par, but it is like Shrek. I don't want to cover that yet because I don't know if I do it justice.
All right, but let's stop avoiding the main question here.
We're talking about a movie today, right?
I think so. Let me check the notes. Yeah, yeah. Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So here it is. What did you think of this movie?
It's okay. It's okay.
I say, eh.
That's your whole. That's your whole review. Eh. one little blip in the audio waveform that I'm looking at.
I don't know. I don't
Shrugging.
know what it is
Did you at
about it.
least shrug your shoulders, or did you just sit there and go, huh?
I just leaned in closer to the mic, paused for a moment, and went, huh? No
Huh?
motion in my body whatsoever.
Huh?
It's a it's a strange movie.
I feel like you could. I feel like this. He was finding himself. Sergio Leone, the
Your
director of
brother?
this film. Yeah,
Oh,
that's it. Sergio Leone
all right.
was finding himself
I
because
think your brother was finding his taste in westerns.
I think that I'm just speculating. I'm probably gonna get a text when this episode comes out and he hears it fully and explaining and stuff like that. But I feel like Davey likes it because it is the first, and there's a lot of really good cliches in this movie that start becoming better used later on, like in the good, the bad, and the ugly. But this is the originator of it, and so there's an appreciation for that. This
What
character
are,
does
what are some of those?
it's the flute, the nameless stranger.
Oh,
He,
okay.
he's very
Ponchos,
yeah, the poncho. He says very few words through clenched teeth, uh,
squinted eyes.
squinted eyes. He's very Mandalorian too. Maybe that could play a role in it, but
Oh, I forgot about that connection. Of course.
this guy is the Mandalorian is based off of this character, and Jon Favreau has spoken plentifully about that. That the Mandalorian, he even told Pedro Pascal to watch these movies, the like Fistful of Dollars, Dollars More, and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly,
And Back to the Future 3.
to get body language and mimic that for the Mandalorian. So there's that aspect to it. I don't know if that played into the suggestion, but I think that probably adds into the appreciation for this film.
Yeah, I did not make that connection. But yes. Wait, did your brother see The Mandalorian first before Fistful of Dollars?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
He saw The Mandalorian and then later he saw this movie.
Yes.
Wow. There it is. That answers everything. That mystery solved. I was even going to ask you to text him right now to see, Davey, what do you like about this movie? Never mind. It's answered.
He was just in here and he brought me food. You're gonna hear I have my bag. You're my brown bag.
I hear it in my ears.
Oh, they got me onion rings? What? But yeah, he was just in here.
All right. My question's answered, though. You don't need to ask him anymore. All right. So, second question. What is this movie about?
It's about two gangs. It's a small town occupied by two gangs, the Rojos and the Baxters.
The Baxters.
The Baxters. And in the middle of this is a family that's been caught up in it.
And this town is big enough for everyone, apparently.
Oh, yeah. A line that caught you off guard.
Hold on a second. I've never heard that. This was said by, what's his name? Ramon.
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 Yep.
Yeah. He's like, hey, everyone can live here in this town.
This town's big enough for all of us.
Yeah.
Cut to you going, oh, what? Hubba what?
Huh? Huh? Oh, yeah. But explain the whole situation with the dubbing over and all that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me about that. So this movie has a variation of actors who speak multiple languages. And I found out it wasn't just like Italian. You had English, Italian, Spanish, and German speakers in this lineup of a cast. And everybody was basically told what to say. Like they were told, "Oh, you're going to say this. This is your line." And they would go and they would deliver it in their native language. And then look, so like Clint Eastwood would be talking to somebody who's speaking Spanish, but he's told what to say. So he's just responding by what the script is saying to say. But then later on, after all the scenes are shot, they call people in and they dub over their lines with English or whatever language they're going to premiere the movie in.
And this was leading up to the US release?
Yeah.
Or before that?
Before that, because they would dub it in Italian first. And then when they found out it was going to get an English release, it was like, all right, now we got to dub it in English.
Did they call Clint back?
I assume so.
Yeah, that's just a very strange way. to make this movie. I would love to see it just everyone speaking their own language. I think that would be
Yeah, I
funny.
want to see the undubbed cut.
Yeah.
But I was reading they didn't even record the audio. Like there is no undubbed cut.
Oh yeah, you did say that.
They wouldn't even capture the audio because they knew, oh, we're gonna dub over all this. So let's not even record the audio.
So they didn't have any. Well, how do you block out the audio?
I don't know.
Boom mics were disconnected. I don't know what they had at this time.
I was thinking of like the other sounds that we were hearing in the movie. You ever see those people that are in a studio, like for animated films, whenever like they pull out a sword or something and they have to make the sound?
Yeah,
In
they're
the
like breaking celery to make it sound like
Yeah.
bones snapping or something.
I always remember seeing a behind the scenes. Are you familiar with Bionicle?
Yes.
Okay. They were making it was a Bionicle movie, and they had this character that walked on 6 legs like a spider, and it was, like, made of metal, and so what they did was they got, a pen, like the pen the caps, and they put it on their fingers, so whenever that Bionicle walked, they would move their fingers to make that, like, tick, 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 tick.
Ah.
And I always remember that Bionicle walking was the fingers moving across, like, a metal sheet with a pen caps taped to the
Yeah, those
fingers.
are pretty fun. They come up with creative ways to get those sounds. I don't know if it was for a game that I saw or an animated short or something, but I've heard that people use like the sound of sizzling bacon on a frying pan to make it sound like rain.
Oh,
Yeah, that was a good idea.
interesting.
Yeah, and then just like regular, if you need doors to open in a game, just make your door creak. You
Yeah.
know, it's cool.
I'm wondering if that's what they did, because if they recorded no audio for this movie, then you would think
Yeah, there has to be some audio, right? Because there was explosions, there was
there's
gunfire.
running. Like you can hear them shuffling and
Yeah,
the sound of because they're running on dirt. You have to
boots
make
need
that
to be clunking.
yeah, there's spurs. You hear spur sounds whenever they
Yeah,
walk, and I'm wondering if because if that means if they weren't recording any audio, that was all done in the studio.
was it worth it?
You know? I didn't even think about that until having this conversation right now, so probably. I didn't notice that. What I did notice, of course, was the dubbing of the voices because
Yeah,
it's very obvious when you're seeing somebody say something and that's their mouth doesn't match the words.
yeah. I didn't think about it until you brought it up. Very interesting. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, it worked. They definitely made it work. But wouldn't you just want to capture the natural sounds that are there?
You would think, and I think that this is an art reserved now only for animated films because, yeah, you would think that you would just want to capture everything live. But I also know that this is done for like technical malfunctions. If there's like a train in one scene
Right?
and you're like, all right, just overlay it.
Or like one of the production crew is like eating potato chips and you hear their bag of potato chips.
You can't hear my bag, right?
I heard it already.
But I'm saying because
Not now, no.
I've been eating in between sentences. If you hear me chewing, you have to promise to cut it out.
Maybe.
Oh no! I'm gonna
If
close.
I find it, sure.
I'm gonna close up my food.
All right.
I thought you were making a dig at me, like, oh yeah, if you
What?
hear somebody eating potato chips, and when you hear somebody eating, I stopped. I was like, is he gonna call me
That
out?
was my dig at you. It
I was
was
thinking,
so loud when Davey passed it to you. And I'm gonna keep it just as loud.
oh, yeah, that's
I might
fine.
amplify it.
I'm okay with that. You're gonna amplify, enhance the
I'm
bag.
gonna THX that bag of potato chips.
I was thinking about Christian Bale.
Which
I,
part?
I was looking at the light.
I was just eating some chips.
I was just eating some chips. Oh, good for you. And how was it?
I want to talk about the blood in this movie and lack thereof.
The bright Kool-Aid red blood that we see in this film.
First, it starts off with no blood whatsoever for maybe the first 30 or 40 minutes. That Gatling gun scene would have been a massacre. Bloodshed everywhere. But it was very tame and very Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But then later in the movie, yeah, pink blood. everyone's getting beat up, and you see blood on their mouths. The guy who gets hit in the head, he got a cracked skull or whatever, blood across his forehead. I feel like there was a mistake there, or maybe like a blood budget.
We can only give blood. I feel like, what if that train scene, the Gatling gun scene, was shot last and they had already used up all their blood supply?
Oh, see, that's better. Because I was thinking maybe it was shot first, and then they realized like, oh wait, we could use some blood, and like, all right, let's start putting it in. And then it was after that scene was shot already.
They're like, "Oh, we already shot it. We can't.
Yeah, they're like,
That's
That'll take too much time. We already got to dub over
too
all
much
the gun
money."
sounds. Yeah,
And then the truck pulls up. We got it. We got the fake blood. Like, all right, now we're in business.
yeah. It makes it seem like there's gonna be that type of movie. Like, I don't care if it's in there or not, but there's a pretty big obvious lack of blood in that Gatling gun massacre scene.
It's a notable shift too, because the beginning of this movie. I want to say, just no offense intended, but this movie is slow and it moves very slow.
Who do you not want to offend, Carolyn?
My brother.
Okay,
And
I'm also walking on eggshells here too.
we love you, Davy. That's why. And this movie is very slow, but it is a notable shift when you see this. It kind of almost wakes you up in a way when that Gatling gun scene comes out, and it's just people like.
I woke up when Clint punched a woman.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
And so then, as you're following it, the action just kind of comes out at you because you're following this guy walking. He's doing his own thing, and you're like, "What are you up to, Clint? What are you up to, Joe?" And then, yeah, you go from one action scene to the next action scene, and then there's blood in the next one, and you're like, "Wait, what? We just saw a massacre of like 16 soldiers, not a speck of blood. All of
Yeah,
a sudden,
that's why it sticks out.
3 guys get beat up, and it's like dripping off of them."
I was gonna say that too. Remember beforehand the gonna need 3 coffins. You know that scene, and then
Yeah.
he kills 4 people. None of them spray any blood. They're fine. And then the Gatling gun scene, and yeah, and I thought like, all right, so that's this type of movie. That's fine. But then the blood comes in, and then think about his face when he's getting tortured for
Mm-hmm.
information for was it Marisol? What was her name?
Yes. Yes. Marisol.
All right. Yeah, and then he's so beat up. He looks like Rocky round 15 with Apollo Creed. But yeah, blood everywhere.
I think that those scenes were shot at the end when they used up their ketchup packets.
I like your idea better. That makes more sense.
They filmed the important scenes or like the more impactful scenes, more related to the plot first. They're like, all right, give him some blood here. Let's go.
And this is just like I'm just mentioning it. Like I don't really care one way or the other. But they all looked, like pinkish and fake,
Mhm.
except when I forgot what scene it was. Maybe is when are we calling him Joe, or is he
Yeah,
just the man with no name?
he is the man with no name, but for the sake of conversation, he'll be Joe.
Sure, sure. Yeah, so when Joe's getting tortured, I think it was that scene, or maybe in the shootout scene at the end. But there's blood like in his mouth, and that was the realest blood in the whole movie. It
Yeah,
looked like he actually got punched in the gut or something.
I was waiting to read. They actually beat up Clint Eastwood for this scene.
He delivered. But then let's start talking about some of this because
Hmm.
I'll give the movie the credit. You know, it's a classic now. I didn't fully understand it. I was following along. I'm like, all right, I got the gist of it, but there's some beats that I missed. And then at the very end, I did not like how that showdown happened. He's just like,
Oh,
yeah, keep shooting me.
the metal plate.
Yeah, yeah. Like, why would he do it? I guess he wanted like style points because yeah, he just wanted to show that he found a bulletproof piece of metal. I didn't like how he was walking around like, all right, yeah, you see how many times you shoot me? Oh, you're losing your touch. I thought you were the deadliest gun in the West or whatever. Not very practical.
It when I saw the middle sheet, it made sense because it was like, oh yeah, you're going up against 5 guys. You're gonna need some of that because then you go and die. But yeah, he shows up, he gets shot, falls down.
Gets up, falls down.
Aim for the heart, Ramon. You aim for the heart, Ramon.
That's how you said you kill a man, right? You
That's
aim
how
for the heart.
you aim for the heart,
He
right?
didn't want to aim for the head at any point. And there was one time he was very close.
Yeah.
They're like very close in front of each other. And he's even walking sideways, he could have had a very easy angle to shoot him.
I guess it was just he wanted to, for lack of a better term, like play with his food before he ate it.
Oh.
Like he wanted to rub it in and get them to realize that he's won before killing them.
Yeah. This whole movie just felt like that to me, like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Because did I miss the point? But why is Joe just randomly pitting these families against each other? Because it seems like he's just strolling by a town. He's like, all right, yeah, I'll mess with them.
Yeah, I mean, okay, this is all up to interpretation because none of this is said in the movie. So this is just us speculating.
All right, let's hear it.
I think he's clearly kind of an anti-hero, He's not supposed to be like he's supposed to be a Shadow, not a Sonic. You get what I mean?
I haven't met him yet. Don't
And
say any more than that. Don't explain.
And I think that it's the movie starts with him strolling into this town.
That
And
he's sipping on the local water well.
sipping on the local H2O.
Yeah.
And he sees a little boy. That's the first thing is we see that little boy get like kicked up and yelled at and shot at.
Mm-hmm.
And then he runs away and gets hidden in another house. And then he sees the woman. So we set up that there's a little boy who's been treated badly, and then there's a girl who's staring longingly. So he's probably like, all right, there's something going on here. And I want to, I think anybody who wants to believe with a protagonist syndrome, it's like, oh, he can tell something's wrong and he wants to step in for justice and wants to make sure that they're safe. But my impression was he was just curious. He was stopping along the way. I was like, hey, what's up? What's up with this town? What's going on here?
Yeah, and this guy's like, it's a ghost town. No one's here except for bandits and coffin makers.
You don't want to be here, senor.
No. Don't go up those stairs.
Don't go up to that balcony.
Nope. You're going to see all the entrepreneurs buying low and selling high back in Texas.
You're going to see all the pump and dumps
of guns and whiskey, whatever they're buying.
You're going to learn what an NFT is, son. Don't go up there.
Invest now.
Safe Moon, baby. Dogecoin. Invest in Dink Doink.
So, what? Did you make that one up? I hope you made that one up.
That's Logan Paul's cryptocurrency.
Dink?
Doink.
Dink Doink?
Yeah. He's even got a song about it. We'll get to that's after the pod. Let's talk about that after the pod.
He made an NFT song?
Yeah, he did.
You could buy it as an NFT?
You can't buy the song now, but you can buy Dink Doink.
Oh, he's missing.
It's a coin.
He's missing an opportunity right there.
He is. That song is pretty catchy.
I'll hear it. Yeah. Don't forget.
I need to write it down somewhere. But yeah.
Logan, maybe he's onto something because is he the one that made the review of Nope?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
But yeah, this town is a ghost town. There's nothing going on here. And the thing is it's a small town. There's like 5 buildings, maybe 6. And
no innocent civilians, just gangs.
Yeah, nobody lives in this town. It's just the barkeep, the coffin maker, and then gangs.
Yeah.
And what was I gonna get to? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah.
But what was his purpose, right?
You find out that so he goes to the Baxters, and that's where the sheriff is, right? The sheriff is among the Baxters.
Yeah.
So not even local law enforcement is helping with anything. It's just gangs.
And that's the whole point. They did convey that, this town is deserted. Get out of here. There's no point. But I feel like that didn't really help the movie Just from an entertainment point of view.
See, this is I don't want to play this kind of game, but in Magnificent Seven,
Oh, here we go. Your favorite Western.
there's actually something that needs to get done. You know,
That's what I need from movies. I need a grand purpose.
there's a plot, there's a whole thing, and it's the movie also starts out by watching everybody. I know this wasn't intended, but we're gonna spoil Magnificent Seven.
Oh, we are? All right, let's hear it.
Just the movie starts off really heartbreaking when you see the main girl's husband, and so we're immediately like emotionally invested. We're like, oh my gosh, this like millionaire and his gang came in and killed people, and this town wants their town back, you know. But in this movie, who's he fighting for? It's not a town,
He's
like,
fighting for a mighty soul, and the other guy, Barkeep,
yeah, yeah. But that's the thing.
whatever his name was.
I didn't feel that until later on when he actually does save them, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, okay. But
I didn't feel it either. I really wasn't invested one way or the other. If they died,
it like,
they died.
did you say they died?
If they die, they died.
If they die, they die.
Yeah, I agree with Ivan Drago on this one.
It's just, that's one of the things. Magnificent Seven established that there is a need, made us care about these characters too, and about the town, because you can feel how much like they're like, we don't want to leave. This is our town, and we deserve to fight for it, and things like that. And it made us care about the cause. And this movie didn't make me care about the cause.
And let me make another comparison. In
Oh,
this
please.
movie, I won't spoil. Back to the Future Part 3. Now, there's a purpose. Caroline, you got to watch it, all right? You got to watch Part 2 and 3 because, man, it is very necessary for them to go to the West.
Oh,
I'll leave
they
it at that.
do all three movies tie into one another?
Of course. Yes. Very
Okay.
much so.
Okay.
Very much so. Yeah.
All right. We got to add to the list. Even if not for the pod, just movie night.
Yeah. And then, all that to say, what's this guy doing in this town? Is he just bored?
He's just
Or is
strolling
he
through.
just is he a vigilante? I mean, I know it's a Wild West. So are there vigilantes in the Wild West?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. That's where you get like, no, I was going to say Zorro. I mean, technically. But yeah,
He's like, all right,
I feel like saving
I feel
people
like
today,
stealing $1,000, giving it away, and
giving them a new life across the
yeah,
border.
sure. Sure, why not? And then that's pretty much how it ends, right? Like he kills everybody in this standoff. And then he's like, all right, well,
Bye.
see ya.
Adios.
Yeah. That was True Grit, right?
Yep. Yep.
Adios.
Matt Damon.
Now let's talk about True Grit, how that's a better movie as well.
Oh yeah, Tom Cheney killed my father. That one is good though.
It is. It really is.
Haley Steinfeld.
So, Davey, what we're getting at here is
Almost spit out my milkshake thanks to you.
Are we like tarnishing an actual classic here? Like, is this?
Yeah. What's funny is I went to the comments. I typed in "A Fistful of Dollars" a theme song because I wanted to like. That's how I prep for an
Right, right.
episode. Is not.
No, it's easy to remember the theme.
And when I go to the comments, the video itself has like 4.9 billion views.
Billion?
Million.
Oh.
I think like I said, I'm drinking a milkshake. My bad.
Dang, you're having a blast. Milkshake.
It's not chips, it's a burger, and it was
I'm
delivered to
starving
me
over
in
here.
a bag. See?
That is so loud. That is so loud. I'm gonna have to dub over this episode with quieter background noise.
It's like brown noise. Here, let me do it ASMR styles.
No, we need dubs. No. We need dubs in the background. We need rustling branches and the sound of a lake. Yeah, go ahead.
When I go to the video, comments 4.5 million views. It says this entire trilogy is a masterpiece. This is all in the comments.
Was
We
this
can
Davy's account?
that we cannot let classic movies like this get remade in Hollywood. Don't touch perfection.
Oh.
And there's so many more. It was like one of the greatest films, uh legendary, Riding into the Sunset,
They don't make them like this anymore.
Clint Eastwood, true legend, great film.
True Western film. Can't be topped.
There, people like it. I think we are kind of tearing into a classic.
Yeah. And also, I gotta say, and this has been my opinion since the beginning, but I don't really gravitate towards the Westerns.
Oh yeah, I do want to preface that you are not a Western lover. Not to say you're a hater, but not a lover.
Mm-mm, I'm a liker.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. I am a Western lover. It's just in my DNA.
I could watch them and enjoy them, but I won't rewatch them.
Yeah,
I
you
haven't rewatched any of the ones we've seen.
willingly
Yeah, willingly.
on
And
your own accord.
yeah, let's get deeper into this description. By
more,
my choosing.
more, more adjectives.
In an enjoyable fashion.
What's the life of Mission Impossible? If you are this mission, if you choose to accept it,
Oh, the mission, if you choose to accept it,
this
is
Western,
impossible.
if you choose to accept it.
I accept them. Do I like them? Sometimes.
You like Magnificent Seven? It's a good
I
movie.
did. That's the one with
Denzel.
Denzel, my man.
That's Denzel.
That's my main man right there.
That's Chris Pratt. Ethan
We just
Hawke.
recently saw Remember the Titans again.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't got into it on the pod, but I am more. I think one of my favorite genres is the feel good sports movie.
Yeah, we haven't done any feel-good sports movie.
What? Oh, Tone, we gotta add some to the list. I've seen all of them on Disney Plus. There's like a sub genre. If you like go down, like you can scroll down on Disney Plus. It's like new to Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Watch this collection, and then feel good sports movies. I've seen all of them.
And
I
there's a
love
lot
them.
on there.
I love all of them. I think there's one called Glory Road. Remember the Titans. Greatest game ever played. Safety is even pretty good.
Safety, I thought it was okay.
Safety is good. It feels like a decom version of the rest of them, but Safety is good.
Yeah, it's good, not great. It's not like on there with Remember the Titans.
Yeah, it's not Remember the Titans, but I love them all.
Yeah, we got to do a few. Are there any feel good Western?
Magnificent Seven. Nah. Honestly,
Oh, besides Back to the Future Part 3.
I think that might be the one if it has a happy ending.
I won't say.
Oh, okay. Mystery.
But anyway, yeah, but also I think you guys are in Texas. So I think you
Yes,
lean more towards the Westerns as well.
you're right. I was thinking about that because I was remembering our conversation with True Grit, where you were trying to really get into the psychologicalness of why I like Westerns, and I couldn't really give an answer.
Oh yeah, I was just like, why do you like Westerns?
Picture, you remember the VeggieTales? The I love my lips. That was it. It was me lying down on the chase
What?
and you with the clipboard. Like, why do you like Westerns? Don't you remember the VeggieTales night?
I do. I do remember that song.
That's what I was thinking about with this line of questioning, where you were there with like a notepad of why.
Yeah. Why in the world
Why do you like
Western?
Westerns? And I feel, and I kind of went back to that episode, and yeah, I agree. Going back to it, I did not give a proper explanation.
You thought I was attacking you, which maybe I
Maybe
was.
you're like maybe.
What?
So you admit it.
No, I don't think I was. Maybe like 10% no, 90%. No, reverse that. 90% no, 10% yes.
We are keeping it 90 today, huh?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure I was honest. I just really wanted to know because my first thought is you grew up in Texas and that's what you're familiar with. It's just more relatable. That was my first thought. It's probably more reasons than that, but
I was thinking about it and trying to give I was trying to write a proper explanation, but I feel like
what do you have written so far?
nothing. I scrapped it.
You have
I have a big fancy times New Roman in my word.
The title, Why Do I Like Westerns?
Yeah,
I'm
writing it. Woo! Yeah. All right, let's read this, baby. Duh. That's what it was.
And obviously, it's not that simple. You can't just say like, "Oh, it's because I grew up here." Blah blah. I mean, it could be a reason, but I'm just throwing it out there.
There's chunks of reasonings I think that all compound together and make it into why I like it. You know, where you're from, what your parents like, and so you kind of in a way end up liking it.
Right.
And then also that you just end up becoming an unironic fan. That's just kind of how it was for me. It was like, oh yeah, I'm a Texan. This is part of my culture. My parents love Western movies, so I watched them a lot growing up.
Hmm.
And then I like the music, and there's a part of
The
me.
music was very good. I'll give it credit
The
for
music
that.
was good in this movie.
Very good. Oh, you want a round of applause?
I want, you know,
Good job, Sergio.
it's because of this music that we have that.
Yeah.
So
Ba ba bum ba ba bum bum
bum, bum,
bum.
bum, 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 bum,
But
bum, bum, bum,
Mandalorian.
bum,
Here's why
bum, bum,
Mandalorian is better than
bum,
this.
bum, bum,
Here's
bum,
walks cooler,
bum, 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 bum. Keep going. Bum, 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 bum,
and he looks cooler.
bum,
He has a poncho
bum,
too.
bum,
All right, now you pick it up.
bum.
I got you. You pick it up. All
And he's protecting a little baby Grogu. He's fighting for something. He has a heart. He's thrusted into this role of being an adoptive dad. And we're following a bounty hunter with a heart of gold on this adventure. And it's just like, this works. We can get behind it.
There's purpose.
Yes. And we don't even need to see his face. We know what he's feeling.
Can you repeat that part?
We
The
don't
beginning.
need we
To
need to clap
see
between it.
his
We
face.
don't need to see
To
his
see his
face
face
to
ever.
know what he's feeling.
Ever. We don't need to see his eyes
Ever.
squinted. No, thank you. The lighting is just
I
fine.
don't need to see anything. I know when he's hurt. I know when he's sad.
Because when he's hurting, I'm hurting.
Yeah. Yeah. When he cries, I
Let's think
cry.
of more movies that is better than Fistful of Dollars. No, I'm kidding.
I had a hunch that that's what this episode was going to turn into, but I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to speak it into existence.
I had no idea where this was going. I'm just here for the ride.
Just yeah, I knew you were going to say that. You're like, just along for the ride.
I'm just along for the ride. But yeah, I didn't know what to expect.
In a way, no such thing as a coincidence. This was Clint Eastwood's Bloodsport.
Go on.
Do you remember how much Jean-Claude was paid for Bloodsport?
25,000.
Okay, he was paid more than Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood was paid $15,000 to be in this movie.
But in 60s money,
Yeah, yeah.
he was probably paid like
That's the equivalent of 25,000.
yeah.
They're paid the same,
That's a lot of money.
adjusted for inflation.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. But also not a lot of money.
It was also a foreign film because Jean-Claude came from Belgium, right? And then came to America. That was his first movie. For Clint, it was more of he went to Italy. All right, where did they shoot this movie? Where was it shot?
I don't
in?
know.
I'll find out on the fly.
That's a good question because yeah, would they film it here in the States and then release it only in Italy?
It was released only in Italy for 3 years before it came out in 67. It originally premiered in 64 and then US 67. Let's see. Where was Fistful of Dollars filmed? It was filmed in Spain.
Oh.
Wow. So they had to fly Clint Eastwood all the way to Spain.
There's a lot going on here.
Mm-hmm. I had a quote here. I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
Where Clint Eastwood was talking about it. He's like,
yeah, I flew to Spain.
He said, I've never been. Oh, I've never been to Italy. I've never been to Spain.
I always hated it.
I've never been to Germany. I've never been to any of these countries for this film. I thought to myself, the worst that can come out of this is a nice little trip. I'll go over there, learn some stuff, and then I'll see how these people really make movies in other countries.
In other countries.
In other countries. That was my Texas coming out.
Yeah. He didn't have an accent, right?
Yeah, no accent. That was just me. I have an accent.
Y'all come back now, you hear? I'm gonna need 3 coffins.
I've never been more aware of my accent than when I talk to like you and Carl. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I do sound the way I
Oh yeah,
sound.
partner.
Oh
I do
yeah.
sound.
I'm
Well,
getting
dog nabbit.
I'm
I
getting
do
oh,
sound like
I'm getting oh oh Elden Ring. Oh, Elden Ring. Shattered.
We
You
need
good?
more of that accent. This is the Western episode. We need more of it. Don't
You
hide it anymore.
you good there, partner?
Don't be ashamed. Well, yeehaw then. We also have a lot of listeners in Texas, so
Oh, we do. That's
this
right.
is probably their favorite movie.
Can't minimize the fan base here, Tone.
Definitely not. We can minimize the movie, but not the fan base.
Just as we have been for the past hour.
Right. What were you gonna say?
I lost my train of thought.
You forgot?
I did.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Davey.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
I hope you can recommend another movie after this. I hope this didn't ruin it
This is
for
not the
us.
last time we'll be abruptly asking you,
Extracting recommendations.
surprising you, saying, "You're gonna do it. Give us a movie."
I thought you told them though.
I didn't. I actually forgot to tell him when we recorded, and then
Um.
he didn't find out until he heard the episode when it went live.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is all just being sprung out.
We'll just do it like that now. We'll just surprise people. Don't say it was next. We already have one lined up.
We do. I'll keep it zipped.
But next time we'll be like, "You're next. We're grabbing one."
The person who suggested the next one has told me to keep it under lock and key, so I have
Good.
orders. Yeah, yeah.
I'm happy with that advice.
We'll just say it on pod next time. And if they never listen, then oh well.
Right. But yeah, Caroline, I don't know. I don't know what I mean. I'll give her credit for the music. But outside of that, I think it was a serviceable movie.
Was there anything other than the music that stood out that you liked?
He did look cool in the poncho.
You took my answer because I had an answer for my own question, but yeah, he looked cool.
He looked cool.
He looked pretty cool. I do like that poncho. I was reading that Clint Eastwood still has it to this day, and it's never been washed.
What?
Yep,
Like a 60-year-old poncho? He never washed it?
never washed it. I feel like if you wash it now, it would just disintegrate.
Yeah, that's the thing. So it probably was for the best. He's been preserving it.
I wonder if he has it in like a case or something, or if it's just hanging in his closet.
I think it's hanging in his closet.
He's just, oh well, it's just too bad.
Well, that's too dang bad.
I was reading here though that Clint Eastwood played a lot into how this character was presented. Apparently, he had a lot of lines. He was not supposed to be this kind of silent stranger that was squinting all the time with cigarettes and stuff. He was
He was not
supposed
supposed to be. He was supposed to talk more.
Yeah, he was supposed to be written like a cowboy hero.
So he just decided to not say his lines and they went with it?
He talked to Sergio Leone and told him, "Hey, I think that I'm talking too much. I want to cut down the dialogue." And the thing is Sergio Leone, when he approached this movie, the way his idea was he wanted to reinvent westerns for Italy because he felt that, like I said, Italian. There was a lot of western movies in Italy around this era, and he felt that they were getting too stale. So he wanted to reinvent it and to breathe life back into the genre. So he was already kind of approaching it with the mindset of wanting to do something new. And when Clint Eastwood came up to him and said, like, "Hey, I think this guy's talking too much. I want to play him silent." Sergio Leone was like, "Oh, that's different. You know what? Yeah, we'll try it." Like, he was very open to collaboration. So that's not where the Clint Eastwood influence ends, because Clint Eastwood was the one that went out and bought the whole outfit and for his character. He picked his own style.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he bought the cigarettes and everything, and he cut them to make them look short. So he was always talking like that with a cigarette in his mouth. And
Make that 4 coffins.
he's got it lists right here. His jeans he brought from California, from Hollywood Boulevard. His hat came from Santa Monica.
Are they Wrangler or Levi's?
He does not say.
That's gonna decide.
Mhm.
If he's a true cowboy.
He picked out the gun belt, the spurs, the boots, the pistol, and he bought the poncho from a store nearby the set in Spain. So he picked out the whole outfit for his character. He basically owns that look.
That's awesome. That makes it more special.
Yeah, so that's pretty neat. And
He made it
it
his own.
yeah. And that is such an iconic look. So many western films since then have paid homage to The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, which is the most famous of the 3. And I think he still has that poncho in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. You know, if you watch anything like Rugrats, SpongeBob, where it was like a variety weekly show, whenever they had a western episode, there was always references to The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. And when you think about it, where we were talking about like, you know, western purists and stuff, like this movie defined the genre, even if it wasn't made by the originators of the genre or, you know, of that lifestyle.
Got to give her credit for that.
That's pretty neat.
I like it. I'm not choosing a side here.
I am, and I spoke to you about this yesterday. I love western movies. Blanket statement. I
Mm,
don't care if they were made by somebody who wasn't raised in a western setting or state or culture or things like that. I'm a fan of it all.
mm.
If it's western and if it's
Be
done
careful
well,
out there, Caroline.
I like it.
Be careful.
Tony, I'm willing to be the trailblazer.
All
I'm
right.
willing to be the first one.
I'm just saying, you're in Texas. You got to watch your back out there with those words.
And by that you mean down the
Better watch
hall.
your back. Keep one eye open tonight.
You better sleep with one eye open. You hear me?
Keep that revolver loaded.
You don't want to add another casket to the bin, huh?
You're gonna need it. I'm safe over here. I could say westerns are okay.
You can say anything you want in Florida. That's how Florida works.
You know what? Back to the Future Part 3 is the best western,
How
okay?
about them
I'll put
gators,
it on
huh?
the record. I said it.
It's a Florida man saying Florida things.
Sure.
I was trying to whistle today. I was trying to whistle that like da-da-da whenever that flute comes in. Oh!
Is that what it sounds like?
Yeah! I am so happy that you did that. Can you do that one more time?
I can't.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it in post. I'll just duplicate what I that whistle and then insert it right here.
Can you upload it to the doc? Isolate it and upload it.
Sure.
I have an idea for the highlight.
Sure.
Either way, I'm glad I got to hear it once. That was
All
pretty
right.
cool.
Good.
Pretty good job there, mister. I think that's the best way to end it. We ended on a high note.
All right. I'll take it.
I have no other like final thoughts for this film. You know, it is what it is. It's a classic. We can herald it as it, and I don't want to end it by talking. We talked about it like in a downward spiral in the beginning.
I want to say some final words. You know, what do I know about movies, right? This
I
is a
could
fine movie.
I picture you on a podium saying this
Hear me. Hear me.
and rejoice.
What do I know about movies? Thank you for the Infinity War reference. We could check that off this episode.
Somebody had to do it. You're welcome.
It's just not my flavor, you know? And Davey, I hope we could get another recommendation out of you and anyone else listening. What's the email again, Caroline?
elbownudgepod@gmail.com.
Please feel free to email any recommendations and context. Let us know if it's your favorite movie, and then we'll be careful about dissing it. Thank you.
This is my flavor, but not my favorite of the flavors. And it
What
was
flavor were
okay.
you eating today?
I have
What
an
chips?
I have an inkling. And they're not chips, it was a burger.
No, you had a bag of chips.
Tony, this bag was a fast food bag that carried a burger inside of
Oh.
it.
Dang, why you gotta ruffle it so much then? You just pull out the burger once and you're done.
I was doing it to tell you. This is what I have in my hands.
How many times do you gotta tell me?
What? It's for the audio. This is on the show. What are we doing here? Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you're hearing us on your favorite podcasting platform, give us a like or a follow. Hit the bell icon if you want to get notifications. If you're a returning listener, honest review. If you're hearing us on YouTube, like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon as well.
Y'all come back now, you hear?